And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Wisdom Transmissions Live. Great to be with you all again today. So very shortly, we'll be taking some questions. Adronis is going to come in for a short presentation talking about the ET presence for 2025. So we'll be getting into that in just a few minutes. And then afterwards, we'll be getting into some readings or, again, topics that you guys want to discuss. Again, if you want to have a personal reading with me, you would just basically need to leave a donation in the YouTube or Rumble super chat, and then I'll be getting to your question in priority sequence. Okay, so you can also ask general questions, so personal questions, general questions. If they're donation based, they get the front of the line. And then if they're running out, then I go into the chat and look into the non-donation based questions. Okay, so we're going to start off first and foremost today with the announcements, because I have a very important first announcement to share, a very exciting one. And that is this. This is the Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour, which means I'm going to be taking about 24 people to Egypt with me. And this is going to be November 8th to 16th in 2025. So about 1 year from now, we're going to be doing our next tour. We just finished the Bosnia tour here in September. The year before that, we went to the UK, got to go inside crop circles and experience them. That was unforgettable for me. And now we're going to move into ancient Egypt. We're going to be going to Cairo. So the higher self, the Akashic records, and the star ancestor initiation, which means I'm going to be going into deeper states of consciousness. I'm actually going to be bringing in the ancients, the star ancestors. And for those who are on the tour who would like to request a initiation, you will be initiated into the halls of Amenti. Right? I've already talked to Adronis about this, and this is something that is going to be offered specifically in Cairo, and it is only offered to those who are going to be on the tour with me. So it's 9 days, 8 nights tour to Cairo, Abu Simbel, Nile cruise, Luxor, private tour inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. So we're going to be going inside the pyramid. We're going to do some workshops with myself and Adronis, and of course, working with the halls of Amenti ancestral initiation. I'm also going to have some gifts for people as well, too, as we go throughout Egypt, imbuing frequencies directly into items and having that taken with you as well, too. So this is really it's a halls of Amenti tour. It's really looking deeper into the Akashic records. It's looking into the ancient Egyptian history. It's connecting with the star ancestors, and it's basically having the star ancestors come through and giving you a gift that will last a lifetime. So I'm really looking forward to this incredible tour. It is, again, just under a year from now. So to check out this tour and find out more information, and if you want to register, you just go to wowtours.de. So that's in the bottom right-hand corner of the graphic here, wowtours.de. Check that out there. I'm going to be doing some more videos as we continue to progress onwards about the Halls of Amenti tour. This is going to be really exciting. I have dreamt since I was a little kid to finally be able to go to Egypt, and I'm going to be there. Brianne is going to be with me as well, too. So Brianne and I will be working together with the group, part of the Ancient Egypt Halls of Amenti tour. This is really exciting. We're going to be having a Nile cruise. It's going to be going inside the ancient pyramid of Giza. It is going to be phenomenal. And of course, Adronis is going to be sharing some information he has never shared before, specifically about the halls of Amenti, specifically about the star ancestors, and actually having an initiation take forward where I will be the vessel of the star ancestors, and they will initiate you into the halls of Amenti, which means you'll basically be able to connect with the Akashic records all the time. That's really what it's teaching, but there may also be some more great benefits to that as well, too, that perhaps I'm not even seeing yet. So it's going to be exciting. So check that out, WOW Tours, WOWTOURS.de. Just go there now, and you can find more information about this exciting tour. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to further announcements. Here we go. reminder that the new meditations section is now available on the Radiate app. So when you go to the app, you'll see on the bottom there's 4 buttons now instead of 3, and the other one is meditation, and you can find the free and the premium meditations there. I've done a video on this. I'm currently putting it together, and it should be out later today on the channel, talking about the updates to Radiate. There's a lot more beneficial information coming for Radiate as well too that I have to announce, but that's going to be in the upcoming video. Anyways, moving on.
Private one-to-one sessions have returned with Brad Johnson and Adronis, with appointment times from 30, 45, and 60 minutes online. Offline sessions including the 3 questions by email and distance healing are now available. Book your session now through our website, wisdomtransmissions.com.
Get readings with Brianne and be astonished at the depth and accuracy she provides for you through her tarot readings. Brianne can create crystal grids for distance healing, plus offer Reiki and Kundalini attunements. She is also a certified Flying Star Feng Shui consultant. Visit Brianne's website and book your session today at readingswithbrianne.com.
And speaking of Brianne, like I said, I had her on last week and we had an incredible time. We had some really incredible questions. I really thank you guys for making that such a special webcast for both Brianne and I. Usually once a month we'll come together and we'll do webcasts because she's busy upstairs right now doing readings. So again, please make sure you experience a reading with Brianne. It is amazing. Her depth and accuracy is really incredible. If you guys are looking for a very accurate tarot reader, if you're looking for a very dedicated Kundalini and Reiki healer, she is definitely it. She is also very, very gifted with Feng Shui as well too. So please check her out. That is readingswithbrianne.com. All right, moving on.
Source Energy enhanced products to repair and rejuvenate the body. From the power of light to crystals to bed kits, card decks, and more. View our free samples, tutorials, and testimonials on our website, etherx.co.
All right, so those are the announcements, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and take a moment now to bring Adronis in, and he's going to be talking about the ET presents for 2025. After that, I will go ahead and move into questions that you may all have. Seeing that there's quite a few that are already coming in, so that's great. So just give me a moment as I bring Adronis in, and we'll get started on this particular topic. Here we go. Terra Soul Star Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. What we would ask all of you to do at this time is simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Also understand that all of the information that we shall provide today is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We will share a little bit more information pertaining to the momentum of things representing your extraterrestrial presence in 2025. Now, we understand that as of late, there has been an admittance representing the idea of spacecraft that have been found within your oceans, both going into the oceans and both leaving the oceans. Well, this all has to do with underwater bases, with, as you would say, interior bases. And this has been happening for a very, very long time. It's really nothing new. This has been happening, as we would say, for many thousands of years. So therefore, there are those who may not have a great deal of interest in that, but nonetheless, this is just another admittance representing the nature of other civilizations that are working together with you. So they may be working together with you in different ways that, again, cannot be commonly seen. And again, they are moving to and fro. Now, they may not always be going into particular bases because there are infrastructures underwater that are in such great depths that your own technologies are not able to discover it at this point, because they go right into the, shall we say, bottom depths of the ocean, far past man's current capability to travel. But at some particular point, you will discover other particular forms of systems, technologies that you will be able to integrate that can actually scan all the way to the bottom of the ocean floor. Not only will you find creatures that you thought were mystical, but you will also find installations, hidden cities, cities that go all the way down to the bottom of the ocean floor. Installations, cities, territories that are operated by other beings. Now, some of these beings, again, as you would say, would be extraterrestrial. Some of them are also indigenous to the planet. So it all really depends in regards to what you find. But there are different species that exist within the, shall we say, bottom surface of your deep ocean floors that you have yet to discover, because you don't have the technology for it yet. But at some particular point you will. So let's move on a little bit more into 2025. Is this all you're going to get in regards to the oceanic unidentified aerial phenomena? No. There is going to be more. In fact, it may represent the idea of the fascinations of your moon. It may represent the idea that there may be a little bit more disclosure in regards to spacecraft moving to and fro through your moon. You may also look more into atmospheric extraterrestrial spacecraft moving to and fro through your atmosphere. You may also have, again, other particular forms of declassified documents that represent, shall we say, popularized areas of your planet to where there have been large experiences of extraterrestrial phenomena. Whether it is the idea of your Roswell, whether it is the idea in that sense of Rendlesham Forest, or any other particular form of interest can therefore be declassified. But even when we look at this, and even though the door is opening a little bit more, there still is not, as you would say, the grand admittance to basically draw a conclusion of saying, yes, dear humans, there are indeed other beings that have visited us for a great deal of time. This is who they are. This is what they want, because that's really what people are looking for. That's still going to be withheld for quite some time, because this is really the nature of their disclosure. We'll tell you that there was a ship. We'll tell you that there were occupants, but that's it. We really can't draw any more conclusions than that. So that really represents the nature of the disclosure as it will continue for the next couple of years. Now, it is quite possible that your own President Donald Trump may start to bring about more information in regards to this type of disclosure. But again, as we stated, it may not be any more better than what we have just described. That you will be aware that there are spacecraft that do not match any particular known craft that is available within your military or otherwise. And yes, there are occupants, but that's all we're going to tell you. And that basically is the soft approach that is in no way attempting to, shall we say, disgruntle much of the technologies that you have on this planet. Because if they said more, you can take a lot of your scientific books and throw them out the window. Because you're going to ask, well, if we've had this technology since the 1930s, the 1940s, why haven't we implemented it in modern society? That's a very good question. And what they've done is they basically have picked and choose. Your LED lights, for example, are reverse engineered ET technology. Working together with your computer systems, the computer chip is reverse engineered extraterrestrial technology. In fact, much of your modern technology that is on the planet right now has been reversioned in a certain way that represent implements of reverse engineered extraterrestrial technology. Much of your computer systems do this, much in the way that your transit vehicles operate nowadays, your satellites in orbit, much of the technology that has been used for military, all of this has been back engineered. But again, they're only telling you little morsels because this is what we're talking about. You're just feeding morsels to the people. You're not going to give them the big information just yet. And that's how they are continuing to proceed. If you really want to look into the greater depths of connecting with the extraterrestrial presence, work through yourself, because you are going to receive much more insight through your own self-discovery than what you are getting from your governments. Your governments are really just leaving you breadcrumbs. They have basically admitted that other civilizations exist, but just not in the wording that people want. They will admit that there are spacecraft that do not represent any known Earth technology that must have been from somewhere else. Well, then you can obviously draw the conclusion that other civilizations exist. It's kind of a no-brainer. There are many declassified documents that you would find through the FBI, through the CIA, through the NSA, through the European Space Agency, and so forth, that basically tell you all of this. This really isn't a secret anymore. This is why people have not been so, in that sense, enamored relating to the latest news of flying saucers flying into your oceans. Big deal. Who are they? Where do they come from? Why are they here? And if there are answers to that, we can say there will be a lot more appeal. This is no more different than really turning on a specific program on your television telling you about certain sightings. That has happened to death throughout your media right now. This is why people are not really so interested in it. When they have greater depth about who these people are, why they are here, where they came from, what are they doing together with this planet with us, now there's more fascination. Now there's more intrigue because now we want to talk to them. That is going to come at some particular point. That is going to move forward. But as we stated right now, is the population is just being spoon-fed with the nature of the extraterrestrial presence right now because of the current maturity level of humanity. If it is basically all spilled out on the floor, opening the can of beans and letting it all out, then this is actually going to lead to a lot more aggression than it would be harmony at this point, because humanity right now is fundamentally angry. You are fundamentally perturbed by so many different things that have been happening upon your planet, and so therefore, as your temperature is red hot right now, there needs to be a decreasing, where you at least go in between the yellow and the green. And around that time, more information is going to be shared about these particular civilizations that have visited you for many thousands of years. And we would say that there are hundreds of them who have. And so when you move into 2025, there will be more slices of this particular type of disclosure through your atmosphere, through the moon. Again, more larger case declassified documents that will be coming about. There may also be, again, more disturbances happening interdimensionally in 2025. More rifts opening, the opening of portal systems, and those experiencing other particular beings who are utilizing this technology, some organic, some artificial in nature. This is happening all the time through the nature of your Antarctica. But we would say that there are areas, specifically within your eastern United States, that may still be prone to this in 2025. There may be areas in your United Kingdom who may be prone to this in 2025. Areas of South America, areas of China and Japan that are also prone to this. Areas of Australia and New Zealand that are also prone to such encounters. So again, we feel that this may lead to larger sightings that have been depicted organically, that are actually taken by your own people, that are not doctored in any particular way. So the veils are going to continue to drop, continue to thin, and you are going to notice that there will be a greater amount of extraterrestrial sightings on your planet because the veil is so thin. This has been happening for a very, very long time. But what's happening right now is that as you are witnessing this phenomenon of interdimensional travel coming together, it's going to become a lot more noticed because you have thinned the veil in between one dimension and another where it is much more apparent. And this happens because there are operations, because there are travels that do take place in between interdimensional civilizations and your own civilization here. There are routines that continuously take place in regards to certain sightings that now may be quite more obvious in seeing. Now, there are those who have been told that they need to work on putting up a little bit more protection in regards to how they travel to and fro, but this really is not representing a universal law. There may be those who are able to successfully cloak themselves before they are detected, and there are simply those who will not bother because they are still used to following their usual patterns. So this is why it can be a mixed bag representing encounters. But 2025, more information on the moon, yes. More information on your atmosphere about what's taking place with UAPs, yes. More information in regards to declassified documents on larger scale situations that have represented extraterrestrial encounters of your past that have a little bit more light shed upon it, yes. That is what we can say to more of an increase in regards to the extraterrestrial presence or awareness in your 2025 year. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now begin your question and answer period. One moment, please. Okay, very good. So Adronis is on standby just in case there are some questions for him, because last week there were quite a few. So I'm going to go ahead now and move into some questions here through the donations. And we have 3 donation-based questions so far. Okay, so let's go to Gijo. Okay. So for Gijo, Adronis, what specific foods should I avoid eating? Okay. Okay, one moment. We thank you very much, Gijo Matthew, for your question about what foods you should avoid eating. Basically, you want to avoid starches, you want to avoid gluten, you want to avoid high sugars. You basically want to avoid any particular type of food that may trigger the effect of diabetes within yourself, as we feel that you may be prone to this. So be aware of starches, be aware of gluten, be aware of high sugars. We would suggest that you're eating a lot more freshly organic foods, living foods. This is something that will help in the integration of higher charge within your body, so metabolism and digestion can function more optimally. All right? We thank you. Okay. Thank you, Gijo. Let's go on to EUM 142. Adronis, was snake venom ever used to make everyone sick during COVID-19 lockdowns before the poke was widely introduced, or was it something else? Okay, so one moment. Okay. We thank you very much for your question, EUM 142. As it relates to snake venom, well, there are very, very small, shall we say, concentrations of such an effect that represented, shall we say, toxicity within certain, shall we say, pokes. All right. We really can't get into it right now because of your censorship on this channel. But you would say that the idea of that utilizing it in a very, very small dose was something that you may find commonly in regards to certain vials of that particular, shall we say, poke. All right, that's really all we can touch on right now pertaining to that due to your censorship. We thank you. Okay, EUM142, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to Solstice. Hi, Brad. I'm thinking of changing my name, but also feel awkward about going public with it with family and friends. Is the one I'm considering beneficial for my life path, or should I choose another? It feels, I don't know what your choice is, but from what I'm telling from what your thought is, it seems completely fine, right? Really, if you do decide, because I've actually wondered about this as well too, would ever be a time for me maybe to change my name, right? Because Brad Johnson, right? I don't know. Maybe it feels like there's something else. I've had that wondering as well too. I haven't done it, but I'm still kind of pondering it. But again, I don't know what your choice is, but if I'm locking on to the vibration of what your choice is, it seems quite suitable. Okay, so that's what I can share with you on that. All right, thank you everybody for your donation-based questions. Again, if we do have more donation-based questions coming up, we'll come back to them. All right. Okay, so this one here is from Fred. Fred says, hello, Adronis. Will those Islamic governments, which still, okay. We have to be careful, Fred, because of censorship, okay? So I know you guys have these questions, but please consider the YouTube censorship because, like I said, I've already got a warning on my account because of certain questions, okay? We really can't talk about questions like that here on this, okay? So Fred, if you do want to email me that question, I can answer it for you privately later. I have to be careful with what can be shared here on YouTube. Hopefully in 2025, it won't matter because from what I can see from things that are coming in 2025, censorship is going to be taken down, but we're still here in 2024. So I would consider this question to be a little bit kind of like a red alert with the censors. Okay. So if you want, Fred, feel free to email me this question later on. I'll be happy to take a look at it. Okay. It's bradjohnson79@gmail.com. Okay. Thank you, Fred. We just have to be careful with some of these questions. Okay. Oh, Gija says, I keep forgetting to mention you pronounce my name perfectly. Okay, great. I wasn't too sure if I was saying it right or not. All right. Okay, here's one here from Mary. Mary says, the UK is horrible at the moment, Brad. Do you have any good news for UK in 2025? You guys are about to watch an overthrowing of your government. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty good news. It's supposed to get bad. Like here in Canada, it's not so good either, right? We have a very, very, well, I'm not going to say it because of censorship, but it is not good here in Canada as well too, okay? But this is all part of something very big that is going to lead to a shift because like I said, 2025 represents a time of endings, right? So as I look into the United Kingdom, there is going to be a fundamental shift of balance of power. There may also be quite a strong possibility of a new election coming as well too, maybe a re-election or again a snap election or something of that nature. And it's going to pour itself out. There's a lot of events that need to happen first, but I feel it's quite likely that there may be another election coming together with the UK. Okay, when that happens, something is going to shift. And like I said, this is all just part of a boiling point. This boiling point needs to basically unsettle people to the degree where something monumental can happen, right? So usually when this is still happening, it's the same in Canada, right? There's still quite a lot of sleepers in Canada, right? And the UK has still quite a lot of sleepers as well too. And they're doing this to try to wake them up. They need to reach a certain goal. And once that happens, then major change takes place, okay? So I do feel like there may be some elections to come up. I do feel like there's going to be some major change happening in the UK as well as here in Canada in 2025, okay? So I know it is something that is intense. I know it's something that's despicable really to look at. But like I said, this is where we need to go in here. And you know I've talked about this many times, right? Going in here, working with yourself, working with your family, working with people you truly have connections and deep love for. But firstly, working on yourself. That's the key. All right. Thank you, Mary, for your question. Okay, let's go to Dieter Singh. How to protect health when one lives in a very dusty environment and cannot move for the time being. Clean your environment, clean your space. Okay. If you live in a very dusty environment, why aren't you cleaning it? Okay. It's kind of obvious, right? If you're noticing that there's mold or mildew in your home, then it might be good to get a specialist in there. If you don't know how to take care of that, you may want to have a specialist come in who knows how to take care of that, right? If it's a very dusty environment, though, do your best to try and clean the space. Okay, I don't really see why that would be a problem. Okay, but to protect your health, it's not about protecting everybody. You got to get out of that word relating to protection. Okay, it's not about protection. It's maintaining health, right? It's keeping your health strong. This is why I say it's so very important to do breath work. Okay, clean your house first so you're not inhaling so much dust. After you clean your house, start doing some breath work. Okay, the one I recommend that's quite powerful is the Rachaka pranayama. That's where you're breathing in for 4 seconds, you're breathing out for 8 seconds. You're getting yourself calm, you're getting yourself centered, you're getting yourself relaxed. You're moving into your space, you're moving into your inner space. You're tuning into your body. How's my lungs? As I breathe in, I'm breathing in the white light. I'm bringing that into the lungs. As I breathe out, I am breathing out that black smoke that represents toxicity and stagnation within my body. Now that I've done that with my lungs, I will do that with my brain. I will do that with my heart. I will do that with my stomach, with my liver, with my pancreas, with my spleen, with my kidneys, with my adrenals, with my digestion, with my cells. I will keep doing that. And I'm going to continue to work on that every day because that is a powerful detoxification. I get myself centered. I get myself relaxed. I start working together with that. I keep myself neutral. And that is a charge within itself. When you keep your body completely and totally still as best as you can, your body goes through subtle charge. That subtle charge increases your immune system. It improves your immune system. It improves your organs because your body is getting the electricity it needs. Call it electricity, but really it would be more like magnetism. Okay, your magnetism, your electricity, all of that charge comes into your body, and you're getting a fundamental charge by keeping yourself still, right? And just breathing in through the nose, 4 seconds, breathing out for 8. Do that for about 3 to 5 minutes, approximately. Do it longer if you want. But you basically want to do that until your eyes start to dilate. So maybe have a little hand mirror with you and check your eyes. Are they dilated? If my eyes are dilated, that's telling me I'm moving into the deeper brainwave states. I'm moving into the alpha, the theta, the delta. Okay. While I'm doing Rachaka, another thing I can do is look up. That is immediately bringing me into the alpha state. Okay. I stay like that for a few minutes while I'm doing Rachaka, right? Just like this. Okay. Just like that. You're looking up. That brings you into the alpha state. As you start going more deeper into the alpha, to go into the theta, you're being more conscientious of a daydream-like state. So you may feel, again, much more vivid and aware of your own surrounding environment and feeling something. Perhaps maybe you're feeling a presence of a loving energy that's in. Focus on that. Okay. Maybe you see something that's beautiful. Focus on that. Okay. That's taking you into the theta. As you go into theta, that is where healing work really is profound. Okay, so then you start working with the white light. You start breathing out the black fog, the black clouds, the black darkness, and just continue to do that. Cycle through your body. Make a routine of it. Okay, I'm not saying you need to spend 10 minutes on an organ. I'd say maybe spend about 3 to 5 breaths on an organ, and then shift to the next, shift to the next, shift to the next, shift to the next. Okay, and that's really going to help you to maintain your health. But if you're in a dusty environment, work to clean it. Okay, it's not going to clean itself. That's our responsibility. Okay, thank you very much for your question. Okay, so Energy Vibes says, hello Brad, any update on XRP from now on until the end of December? I also got another donation-based question, which I'll get to in just a second. Any update on XRP? Yes, so I was actually looking into it last night. Okay, so Brian and I actually have some XRP. We use a program called Kraken. Okay, I think she uses Coinbase. but I use Kraken. That's Krakan. Now, here's something I'm going to tell everybody. Please, please, please do not come to me for advice on cryptocurrency. I don't mind looking at forecasts like what we're doing here. This is a very appropriate question, but I've had people say, oh, Brad, can you technically tell me how to do this and how to make? No, absolutely not. Do not come to me. I'm not a crypto specialist, an XRP specialist, or anything of that nature. All we're doing here is looking at energy. So I've had some people have come to me and asked me about, oh yeah, can you just kind of like give me some financial advice about cryptocurrency, or how do I technically use this? Like, no, absolutely not. I'm not the guy to come to that, but we'll look at the energy of it. Okay, so energy vibes, XRP, now into the end of December. Okay, let's take a look. Kind of like drops and falls. Okay, I think that at most XRP would go up to $2 at most. That's pretty optimistic. From what I'm seeing right now, it's about $1.50 last I checked. I think it may still kind of bounce up and down, maybe $1.60, $1.70. Maybe with a wide stretch, it may come to $2. Okay, but I can't guarantee that. Like I said, I'm kind of looking at that optimistically. So it may shift up and down, but all I'm doing here, everybody, is giving you a projection, okay? You're not writing this down. Someone, okay, Brad's saying $2. Right? No, don't go crazy with that. I'm only giving you a perspective, an outlook here on the energy. It's very, very hard to forecast. Excuse me again. See, I start talking about crypto, I start choking up because I'm not supposed to say certain things about it. And I kind of get that feeling. It's like, nope, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it, right? So, like I said, with crypto, with XRP, I see it as having the most promise, okay? I'm seeing it in 2025 doing very, very well, okay? End of 2024, I can't guarantee that, okay? Think of it in this analogy. You have a new car. It's a beautiful, fast, powerful car, okay? You take your key and you put it into the ignition and you start the engine. That's 2024. Now that we're starting the engine, we're just revving up the engine. We're keeping it neutral. We're revving up the engine. The engine's getting revved. We're seeing what this baby can do. That's 2025. 2026 to 2028, we start flying around the tracks with this incredible, powerful, amazing looking car. That's 2026 to 2028. Okay? So that's really how I liken it with the nature of XRP. Okay, right now, you've just put the key into the ignition and you're just starting to turn it up. That's all we're going to see in 2024. Okay, so optimistically at the most, $2. But I can't even guarantee that. It's definitely going to stay around the $1.50 range for the time being. Okay, so end of December, I think you're just asking for something too soon. Okay? It does have a lot of potential to it. It is skyrocketing, as I said it would, right? But it needs more time to continue to skyrocket. It's very, very possible that Elon Musk might be buying Ripple. If that happens, then it's going to surge like crazy. So I think they're in talks right now, and I think Elon Musk is looking to buy Ripple and take XRP to the next level. So if that happens, expect an amazing skyrocket. I would say within the next couple of years, we could see XRP going to places that even Bitcoin couldn't go to, right? Because its popularity is going to soar. Okay, but we need to keep looking at it in sequences just to see how it's doing, because like I said, there can be great hills coming and valleys, hills and valleys. So we just have to be aware of that. Okay, so thank you, Energy Vibes, for your question. Okay, we've got two other donation-based questions here. Okay, this one here again is from Solstice. Hi, Adronis. When you first announced the 2037, 2038 back in 2019, you mentioned about the 3 days of darkness and the pole shift leading into the new Earth. Is this still set to occur? Okay, one moment. We thank you very much for your question. Yes, it is still set to occur. That has not changed. The idea of a darkness time around that time, between 2037 and 2038, is an approximation that we can give you. It is still quite possible that it could happen earlier. But we feel, again, that it's still upon that map. So again, as time continues to progress, we will inform you a lot more. But right now, the momentum still remains high that there will be a time of darkness as the idea of, shall we say, a calibration to your Earth representing its poles or its magnetism in that sense will be taking place around that time because of the condensing of events leading into what is referred to as the event. So yes, that is still a part of this current cycle that you're on. All right? We thank you. So yeah, I'm feeling that too. That's still on course. That's still meant to happen. Okay, I can't say if it's 3 days of darkness or 1 day of darkness or what have you, or what exactly comes pertaining to the nature of the darkness, whether it's a blackout or what have you, but that is still scheduled to happen. Okay, there is really no deviations from that. So it is a very, very high momentum of that kind. Can't guarantee it's 2037, 28. It might be a little bit earlier, right? Or it might be on that cue, but nonetheless, that is coming. Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, so this one here is from FM. Could Adronis look into my experience with a morphing cloud that appeared holographic? Was it ET related? No. Okay, those are not ET related things, and because Adronis has talked about these things before in regards to a morphing cloud. Morphing cloud would actually represent much more of the shifting of the grid. Okay, it's not a spacecraft. It's not an extraterrestrial event. It is much more appropriately looked at in regards to the nature of the grid and the nature of how basically we could say time unfolds here, right? It would represent much more of the idea of like a folding or bulging in that way, or almost a secretion of something of a phenomenon that we don't even really have words for. But it's representing the idea of a shifting or folding again, or a, I wouldn't call it a glitching. Glitching is not really appropriate, right? But just basically an anomaly that's happening within the grid of the Earth. Whenever you see those particular clouds that are holographic, they are much more in nature to the grid of the Earth. They are not spacecraft. Okay, I can talk about this because Adronis has talked about it before too. Okay, thank you very much for your question. All right, let's move on. Okay. And good morning to everybody. Hope you're all doing well here today. Okay. This one here is from Krati. Krati says, hello, Adronis. Will our astrology charts impact change with the change in Earth's magnetic grid? Are we operating with the same planetary energies that we started at birth? One moment. We thank you very much, Krati. So the answer to your question quite simply is no. It will not impact relating to all the changes that the planet is going on, because that's not how it works. When you're looking at the nature of astrology, Earth represents the center point, and you're looking at all of the converging planets and the elliptical of the constellations representing your 12 signs that play an effect upon the Earth. Therefore, anything pertaining to your astrological significances discovered within your natal charts will not generate any particular type of drastic change as it represents the effect of the Earth or the effect of yourselves. Everything is still appropriate because that is a universal science that you have your hands on right now, representing the nature of astrology. This is not the first type of shift that the Earth has had. Earth has shifted greatly in the ancient past, and astrology will always stand the test of time, whether in one universe or the new universe that you are going to move into post 2038. All right, so that is always going to be a factor of a reliable universal technology that relies upon the nature of the astrological data to still be consistent, regardless of what your planet Earth and yourselves are going through. All right, thank you for your question. Okay, thank you, Crony. It's a very good question too. Appreciate that. All right. So, question here: is distilled water beneficial to drink? I can't really answer that, Solstice. Okay, it depends on the person. Some people have found very good benefits with distilled water because they've seen how it helps to flush out their system. It helps to detoxify them, but it may not work for everybody in that way. It just depends in regards to how you're oriented, right? I have tried distilled water in the past, and it really didn't do anything for me, okay? But I've talked to others who are using distilled water, and it benefited them tremendously. So you have to kind of experiment for yourself. Distilled water does have the ability to flush out a lot of toxins in the body, but depending in regards to how your system is oriented, it could represent the idea of some of the good stuff being flushed out as well too. So you have to kind of experiment a little, right? But I drank distilled water for a considerable amount of time. I didn't really find any benefit. It didn't really make any toxins that I had at the time go away. For other people, they said they benefited tremendously with distilled water. They basically were able to remove the gray hair from themselves when they were using distilled water. So it varies from person to person. It's very subjective in regards to its effects, just as pretty much everything else is. All right. Thank you for your question. We have another donation-based question here from Solstice. Solstice is just on fire today. All right. Okay, so Solstice says, how is RaYar doing? We haven't heard from her in ages. What is she up to lately? Does she have a message for us? Sending her lots of love. Oh, okay. You guys want to hear from RaYar, huh? I just haven't really had any requests for her. That's the whole idea. The requests really have been from Adronis. But you have to understand that Adronis and RaYar are the same being. Adronis, in I guess you could say her true form, is an androgynous being. Okay? So basically, when he's interacting with me, there's a split. There's a split in between RaYar and Adronis. When they come together, they become androgynous. Right? This is my theory of why people keep calling Adronis Andronis. Right? A lot of people spell his name Andronis when I keep telling people, no, it's Adronis. Right? But some people will put the N there. And I think that's because maybe they're feeling that. So it's kind of like, think of it as one being like this, okay? And then both hemispheres of that being split. On this side, you have Adronis. On this side, you have RaYar, okay? They don't break up, guys, okay? This is not about the relationships that you would understand on Earth. It is far beyond that. It is the idea of taking these two intelligences and merging them together into one being that would represent the androgynous essence that represents Adronis and RaYar together. Okay? But I haven't brought RaYar through because nobody's asked for her. Solstice, you're the first person that actually asked for RaYar now. So now that you've asked for RaYar, I'm happy to bring her through. Okay, it's been some time. It's actually been a couple of years. I have not contacted her ever since I took a hiatus with Adronis a couple of years back. Okay, so it's going to be my first time in a couple of years to bring Adronis in. Not Adronis, sorry. See what I mean? Used to Adronis. To bringing RaYar in. Okay, so RaYar would be the feminine aspect of Adronis altogether. Okay, so give me a moment as I bring Adronis in. And see, here we go again. It's this habit I have. As I bring RaYar in, then she can talk to you. Just in regards to a message that she may have. Okay, one moment. Might be a bit rusty, so bear with me. RaYar. Beloveds, we thank you from the bottom of our heart that we are allowed to share this sacred space with all of you today. For we have not forgotten the experiences that we have had with your folk. For we have not forgotten the questions that you have asked. For we have not forgotten the songs that we have shared. And we have witnessed the earth as she goes through her transitional phase. Her transitional phase where she is relying upon her natural immune system to sing the song of grace upon her beautiful heart. And we want to share a song together with you today, as you will feel it in your heart, as we encourage you to feel the song within yourself, and with no animosity and with no hesitation, let it be shared. And we will start with our own song now. This, our beloveds, has been our message to you. If you can feel what we share with you through our song, for song is our true language. Song expresses our feelings. Song expresses our mind, forging together with yours. Therefore, this is the message we wish to share with all beautiful hearts, beautiful minds, and beautiful souls upon your Mother Earth. Remember your inner song and share it well with your mother. I am RaYar, singer of Sirius Light, and we will now conclude. Goodbye for now, beloveds. Well, there you go. There's RaYar. Okay, so that has been a long time in the making, right? I think that's been about 3 years or so, around there, since I've connected with her in that way. My vocal cords always get a workout with her. She's a singer. That's really her energy. Her energy is she's very deeply feminine. Like Adronis is very strongly masculine. RaYar very strongly feminine, right? So that's her coming about, giving me a little bit of a vocal warm-up. So hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you, Solstice, for your question. All right, let's go ahead and move on. How are we on time here? Okay, we got some time still. Okay. Okay. Okay, just give me a moment here, guys. I'm just looking over some of the questions. Okay, it looks like I think I've taken care of all the questions already, so that's good. We did kind of plow through them today, unless I missed some here. Let's see here. Okay, I think we'll go with this one. I think I missed this one. This one is from Peace Gem Music. Question is, when will the Ukraine war end? Okay. Let's go ahead and put that forward. I'm getting between 2025 and 2026. Okay, so that's the feeling I'm getting right now as I tune into it. I think Trump is going to have a very, very big role to play in regards to seeing that end. But I think that's kind of how it looks in front of the scenes. Behind the scenes, it pretty much is already done, but they're basically still peddling it like it is still happening. But in fact, really, it's not so much anymore. So I'd say between 2025, 2026, we're going to be seeing the end of it talked about quite commonly in the mainstream. Okay, so around next year or the year after, between that time. All right, thank you. Okay. Okay, we have a follow-up question here. I think Kranti is referring to, by dusty environment, he meant air pollution outside in my country, India. Okay, well, I have to kind of hear it from him, Kranti, not so much you. But basically, if we're dealing with pollution, well, then that's something you still need to work together with. If there's a lot of pollution in India, what are we doing to help solve that problem, right? It's like with China, it's like with India. Yes, there are major pollution centers. So this is where, again, we need to take some action in our own hands. So this is exactly why I built certain things with etherics, my friends. Okay, this is exactly why I've created safeguards. This is exactly why I've created wall arrays. This is exactly why I've created the healing code cards. Okay, so I'm working with particular technologies that are working with specific frequencies that help to elevate the environment and clear out toxicity, be it metals, be it pollens, be it radiation, be it anything of that nature. That's in the cards. That's in the safeguards. That's in the wall arrays. Okay? So that's something that you can do as well. If you also meditate and go into the deep theta state and you start talking to spirit, spirit will provide you with natural frequencies that you can basically just radiate out through yourself and help the environment to get cleaned up. We can do a lot of things with the power of frequencies. Do you remember also what I said not too long ago about me having these particular abilities and working with people, right? If you want to work together with me and help develop certain technologies that will really help to eliminate a lot of the pollution in cities, well, guys, I can't do that by myself. I need a team. We need to work together. We need to cooperate. So maybe you want to tell other people about what I can do, and they can have a talk with me, and maybe I can build something for them that will help them in generating a benefactor and helping to eliminate pollution from the air, because it can be done with vibrational frequency technology, like what I'm doing with etherics. But if all that's going to happen is just people are just going to clam up and nothing gets said to me, and there's no dedication to have a group that comes together to help each other out, we're not going to be able to do anything, right? I can tell you how to do these certain things, and that can certainly help with your home and your local environment. What about the rest of your country? So this is where I would like to meet you guys. If you are watching this right now, if you are passing on this video to somebody else and say, you know, there's this guy in Canada who is able to develop these vibrational frequencies technologies that have been proven to work. And he is claiming that he is able to develop very simple scalar frequency technology out of simple objects that radiate that energy, and it can clean up pollution. Maybe you guys should talk to him. I'd be welcome to hear from you. And you just email me, bradjohnson79@gmail.com. Come email me, right? I'd be more than happy to talk to you, talk about your town, talk about your city, whether you have engineers, whether you have people that want to work together with me. I'm completely open. But nobody has said anything to me at all. And I'm telling you, through the proof that I have of this technology, guys, I can guarantee it works. You guys have to talk to me. You guys have to open up and speak to me and say, Brad, I want to get a group together. I have this group together, and we can do something, and we can help clear up the pollution. Yes, I have the technology that does just that, and I can back it up, right? We can certainly run tests on it. And I can tell you that the air quality is going to be better within a matter of days. I can tell you that we can work with your water supply and we can clean it up within a matter of days, depending on the type of technology you want to haul out. So everybody who's watching, please pass on this message. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care if you're from the East or from the West. I don't care what your background is. If you have a group that is dedicated to working with me and helping to clean up the environment, I'm more than happy to do this, but I cannot do it by myself. I need other people to work together with me. It's a cooperation, it's a relationship, it's a partnership, it's a group partnership, okay? So please consider that. I'm well aware of how dirty and contaminated India is and how we can clean it up very, very quickly if we have a group effort together, because I will work with those people. I'll tell them, okay, this is what we're doing. Here's what I'm thinking we can use as an interface. Here's what we can use as an object. Here's what I can put in pertaining to the nature of symbols. Here's what I can radiate throughout that entire object. Here's how I can amplify it. Here's how I can harness the power of the stars. Here's how I can amplify the power of the planets to imbue that directly into this object, how it's moving together in connection with other objects like obelisks. And now we can start cleaning up villages. Now we can start cleaning up towns. Now we can start cleaning up cities. I have proven that with etherics, with what people are noticing in their homes. When they put up the safeguards, when I put up the wall arrays, the whole home feels clean. Like there's not even a speck of pollution in the house. So that's coming at a house model and an environmental model. Well, how about a village? How about a town? How about a city? How about a metropolis? How about a country? Yes, 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 yes. We can do it all. But I need people to contact me. Otherwise, we clam up and nothing gets done. So this is my reminder to all of you. I've already made a video about that. And no one has contacted me about that. So I don't really know what to do, guys. I'm at a loss. I'm telling you, I have the ability to create this technology to turn all of this around, and no one's biting. So what can I do about that? Okay. I can teach you personally how to work with these things. Yes, that's why I have an Adronis classroom. Speaking of that, that's one of the things I forgot to talk about today as well, is the Adronis Patreon. Okay, so that's something that you guys can look into. Let me just one sec here. Oops. Okay, let me move that coming out of the way. So that's something you guys can learn about. Okay, patreon.com/Adronis. Right, we have weekly classes every single week. I also do videos for people that ask me questions with Adronis. That's available. People are learning incredible things in the Adronis classroom. Okay. There is also the resonant dowsing done through the Etherics Academy, where people are learning how to harmonize their entire environment. They're learning to harmonize their bodies. They're learning how to work with the planetary energies, right? So there's a lot of things that you guys can learn if you take advantage of the classrooms and the courses that I have. So there's Adronis, and of course there is Etherics Academy. That's AETHERX Academy.com. Okay, there's 3 courses there: student training, advanced coaches training, and the resonant dowsing training. There's going to be more courses coming very soon. Okay, but those are things that you can learn personally. Okay, so I don't know what to do, guys, other than me just putting it out there and say, guys, I can do it. Who's going to bite? Who's going to come to me and say, Brad, let's work together? Fantastic. I would love to. It's not about money, right? If there is something that's so completely important and passionate that people want to come to me and say, Brad, we don't really have a lot of money, but we have a small village and we're just wondering what you can do to help us with pollution. No problem. I can tell you exactly what to build, how to build it. I can even give you blueprints by computer, send it to you, and I can tell you how to make these things. Talk to me. And if you do that, we'll have some incredible things to discuss. All right. So I had the wrong symbol up there. So again, talk to me. That's all I can suggest. Right. So again, if you're in a very, very unpleasant environment, I understand that. Talk to me. And maybe there's something I can do for you personally. Like I said, I can recommend the safeguards for you. Or again, if you want to bring it in further, let's do it. Okay. But I need cooperation. This is not something that I'm able to do all by my lonesome. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay. All right, there's one more donation-based question here. Okay, this is just from YouTube user. YouTube user says, heard of first wave of Ascension 2030. Your thoughts? Okay, let's take a look at that. I've heard about people talking about Ascension for years, but let's take a look at Ascension 2030. Okay. Nothing. Okay. There's nothing coming in 2030 that represents that. Okay. So I'm tuning into it. Okay, show me Ascension 2030. I'm just basically looking at like empty space. There's nothing coming regarding 2030 that I can see. Okay. So I don't know who's telling you that or what big thing is coming up about that, but that's it. I think there's other channels. This is something a bit different, but I'll look into it anyways. There's some other channels talking about extraterrestrial contact in 2026. Okay, let me go ahead and take a look at that. ET contact in 2026. That precise event. Let me see. No. Okay. So again, more disclosure, more information about that. Maybe some sightings. Okay, but nothing in regards to a formal contact that I'm seeing with that either. Okay, and all I'm doing, guys, is I'm basically pulling up the Akashic folder and say, okay, I'm going to open the folder. Let me see. Okay, what's going on with Ascension 2030? Rather, there's no such thing. Okay, let me take a look at the idea of first contact 2026, because this is what's supposed to happen. Brad, there's no such thing. Okay, and that's what I'm getting for both of them. So I haven't got anything. So unless somebody else is going through some gigantic quantum leap from another galaxy or something like that and bringing something out without my notice, I don't know. But I have not seen anything in regards to an Ascension 2030, and I'm not seeing anything in regards to an extraterrestrial first contact in 2026. Neither of those. Okay. Not to say that there won't be things happening in 2026 and 2030, but I'm looking at that precise event that you're telling me. There's nothing there. Okay. So that's just what I'm getting, guys. I'm just giving you perspective, and I don't see anything there. Okay. Thank you for your question. Okay. Okay, this one here is from Trine. Trine says, yes, say a little more about cooperation, how to help empathy. Talk to me. Talk to me first. What do you need to implement? What is the problem that you're going through? Is this something for your household? Is this something for your neighborhood? Is this something for your village or your town or your city? Do you have people who are willing to back this up? If I start giving you plans and implement and maybe fly over to where you are and meet with you in person, do you have people with you that will work on it? Are there engineers, right? Are there city workers who can work together with this project? Because I'm more than happy to work with it. What I can say is a lot more of the Eastern world is a lot more open to what I would be doing than the Western world, because the Western world wants blinking lights and digital this and digital that. It's not to say I couldn't create it, but it feels like it's a little bit more easier to work a lot more with the East than with the West about this, because they understand a little bit more. But it's not to say I can't work with the West. It's just a matter of looking into what is the problem that you're facing? What kind of help do you need? What is the scale of the project? Do you have people who want to work together with you on this? Are they aware of the work that I'm doing with etherics? Or do they want me to show them something that you can actually start working with instruments to help prove, right? All of these things are it. So I don't really have a specific, outline for you, but I'm giving you ideas, okay? Because like I said, I've worked with a lot of these technologies through etherics and just helping out with people's homes, right? So I'm helping them out with their environments as well too. The manifestation wheel is doing that, okay? Manifestation wheel is the newest technology, and you basically have 4 directional pucks: the north, the east, the south, the west. You put it in the outer perimeter as far out as you want to stretch it, and now you're working together with the simple interface called the manifestation wheel. And now you're harnessing star constellations. Now you're harnessing planets. Now you're working together with those technologies, or those frequencies, together with source vibration, with color frequency, with cosmic energy. And now you're applying it to your organs. And now you're applying it to your environment. And now you're applying it to your manifestations. And now you can amplify it. Okay? That's the example of something very, very profound. And it really doesn't take too much work to build this. It just depends in regards to how much amplitude we're looking at in regards to creating a perimeter. Because basically, if we're looking for environmental healing, you want to develop types of technology that are frequency-based, that represent static positioning, like pillars, like obelisks, right? Having certain symbols on them because symbols represent programs. And that is what I'm imbuing into the symbols that represent those code frequencies. I go directly into source. I retrieve the genuine vibrational frequency of whatever it is that you wish to align to that is within this universe. I put it into that symbol. I now start working together with other codes that enable it to do whatever it needs to do. If we're looking to clean out air pollution, we can do it. If we're looking to have it to safeguard from dangerous storms, we can do it. If we need to do it to prevent earthquakes, we can do that. If we need to clean up water supply, we can do that. Vibrational frequency is the answer. Can you guys tell me of a certain very popular scientist who's primarily responsible for the majority of the technology that we have today in the modern world, who once said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, look into energy, frequency, and vibration? Who said that? Nikola Tesla, right? And that's exactly what I'm following. I am working with the secrets of the universe through energy, vibration, and frequency. We've been working with this for many years and now applying it into practical technology. That's very simple. It's bare bones simple, right? So if that's something that you want to pursue with me, talk to me, okay? And let me know the group that you have together, because it should not just be, okay, well, Brad, it's just you and me. No. I mean, with you and me, we can work together in your environment, with your home. But no, I would need you to go out and talk to some people and say, right, I know this guy, and they can talk to me, right? And they say, okay, I'm a skilled engineer, and I've been told them that you're able to build like these kind of obelisks and so forth, and that's going to help with the air supply. Yes. And if you want, I can show you guys some small samples first that you can test before we move it up into a larger scale. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm more than happy to do that. And even if it had to come down to it, I would book a flight. I would go and I would see you in person. I would talk to your team in person, and we would build these things in person. And I would show exactly how you would build it. I would show you exactly how you would need to align it so that we could make these things happen. So that's my answer to your question. Okay. So a little bit more about cooperation and how to implement. You need a team, and you need to talk to me. And if your team needs to talk to me, they can talk to me. Okay. But this is what I'm offering, because I'm pretty much at that stage now where we can take etherics technology and take it to the next level. But we got to do it together. Okay. So thank you again for your follow-up. Appreciate that. Okay. Here's a nice question here from Mellowverse Beats. I'm an artist who wants to create work to uplift the frequency of those who view it. Any ideas of what I should look into? No, that's an artist's discover. I can't help you with that. Being an artist is the ability to explore these things and seeing what you can do through experimentation, what you can learn through trial and error. Certainly when I was developing etherics, I had to go through quite a lot of trial and error, right? There were certain codes that I was using that were not as efficient as the codes I'm using right now, but I had to discover that through trial and error. Don't feel like somebody has to come along to give you the idea of trying to beef something up, of something that you haven't even explored yet. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to go back to the drawing board. Don't be afraid to scrunch up that piece of paper and throw it away, because what matters is you're calibrating yourself, right? So as you're an artist, the artist's capability is to explore, is to look deeper into themselves and see what's there and look into it. Maybe you're creating something that's just on the surface at first, and now you decide to go deeper, and you're drilling down more and more and more, and you're discovering that, okay? Your ideas are yours to behold. Don't rely on another person to give you an idea. If you stumble upon something, it happens completely in a state of unawareness, right? You all of a sudden you see this person about what they're doing, and now you just get an idea in your head, right? There's an example right there. You may take an example for nature, but try not to ask about the idea of an idea that's coming together with another, because it becomes flat, right? If I try to give you an idea right now, it becomes flat. But if you actually witness it from your own experiences that were unintentional, that is where there is richness, okay? And you want to focus on that. So that's what I can share with you. Let the world talk to you. Share the experience that you want to bring out that may be representing a rough idea, and let the universe share it with you. And it's a beautiful thing when that time comes. I know what that's like. And when you feel it, you're in cloud nine, I tell you. All right. Thank you very much for your question. Okay. I don't think I had another donation-based question. I think we'll end the session here today with Cassandra. Cassandra says, I'm working with Oracle cards to unlock the light, love, and laws of the universe. Would your etheric overlay work with that type of collaboration? No, not really what I'm looking at in that sense, because I'm already building cards myself, right? That's not the idea. That's not what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about working together with frequencies, I'm talking about how we can help with people and how we can help with environments, right? Not so much about putting it into a card in that sense and working with an oracle aspect of it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually using very, very practical technology that's very simple, putting certain symbols upon that, because I'm able to harness pretty much any genuine vibrational frequency in the entire universe that I have a relationship with and put it directly into that. And I'm able to code it a lot more and expand it and amplify it, because the power source is coming through source center vibration, and then it continues to extend outwards into scalar, then it continues to kind of come outwards through color vibration, and it continues to come outwards through planets, and it continues to come outwards through stars, right? So that's the power supply. The field is the power supply, and it's powering this particular device to help with communities, right? So this goes way beyond an oracle project. So like I said, I'm developing another healing code cards deck, the source deck, okay? But I wouldn't use that to working together with what I'm talking about here. This is something that's much more engineering-based scale, okay? So I'm talking about what is something that you could use that could benefit your entire village, town, city, province, or state, or what have you. And if that's something that you have a lot of connections with, that's what I'm talking about, okay? I'm talking about something very big, where we can actually roll something out, and you will see for yourself how clean the air is. You will see for yourself that the contamination in the water is gone. You will see that any particular form of harsh radiation kept inside the ground is completely neutralized, because I've done this. Right? So this is what I'm talking about, is that we're stretching out to the community. We want to build something. Okay. That's why I want to take etherics. I want to take etherics to these community projects and start building something bigger. There's also a fellow by the name of Dr. Ibrahim Karim in Cairo, Egypt. He is the founder of biogeometry. And what he'll do is he'll work together with other architects. He'll work with engineers. He'll work with civil servants. He'll work together and help to build architecture that basically contains the BG3 or the source center vibration, right? That's what I'm talking about, is actually bringing something in regards to a community project, okay? This is not about the idea of a product that we can just go ahead and sell online and all that. There's a place for that, okay? But what I'm talking about is something community-based, something that actually helps a community, be it a village, town, city, etc. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So if you are watching this right now and you've heard what I've said and you want to get in touch with me, please email me. Okay, Brad Johnson, BradJohnson 79@gmail.com, and let me know. And if you have a team together, you have a group together, because this is not by yourself. This is a team. This is a community. I would love to hear from you. Okay, thank you. All right, so guys, I think we're going to wrap up. Actually, we got one more question here, and we'll wrap up. Okay, so Saima Malik, is Nasera Gesera going to happen ever? Maybe under a different name, but same concept. The second part of what you say, Saima, is correct. Okay, but let me go ahead and take a look at that, because I actually haven't done this with an Akashic folder yet. Okay, about Nasera Gesera. No, definitely under a different guise, under a different ledger, under a different. See, the spirit of Nasera Gesera is there, without it actually being Nasera Gesera. That's the thing, right? So again, a lot of people are excited about that, and you are going to have that fulfilled. The whole idea of what's happening right now is they're attempting to bring the money back from the criminals and bring it back to the people. And that is especially going to happen between these years of 2025 and 2029. Okay. So throughout those 4 years, a lot of that money is funneling back into the people. And there will be prosperity programs. There will be a universal income, but it is not with any harsh consequences. It's much more going to be like a high income. It wouldn't surprise me if average families start making 5-6 figures, right? So that is what I'm talking about. So it's not really Nasera Gesera itself, but it's the spirit of it. It is what it represents. This is why I'm kind of getting a middle ground. So well, it's not Nasera Gesera, but it's its spirit. It's its essence. Very much in regards of what people have been waiting for quite some time, but I do not believe it will go under that name. Okay, it's probably going to go under like universal high income, certain types of prosperity programs that will have their own appropriate names, unless somebody who's using one of those prosperity programs calls it Nasera, then maybe. But that's not what I'm seeing. Okay, so the spirit of it, yes, but it is going to take another form under a different name, but same concept. Yes, Sami, you're completely correct about the second part of what you're saying here. All right. So yes, that time is coming for sure. Of course, we can't end the webcast today without talking about med beds. You guys know that I have an equivalent of a med bed, right? You guys know that I have that through Taurus beds. You guys know that I have the upcoming Radiate bed that's coming. That is a healing bed. Okay, that's going to be coming here as we get into the new year. Okay, but right now there's Taurus beds that are available, but just the twin and the fulls because we have sold out of the Queen and the Kings. But again, there's more bed technology that I'm developing through Etherics. Okay, so if that interests you, stay tuned. Like I said, before the start of the new year, we'll be getting the Radiate bed kits in. Okay, and they'll be in queen size at first, and then king size later. But let's go ahead and take a look at the so-called actual med beds. Are they coming soon? Okay. There are going to be rollouts of new technologies that will be referred to as med beds, but they will be nothing to the degree of an SSP med bed. Okay, so we basically got that entire term of a med bed through secret space program rhetoric. Okay, secret space program rhetoric basically tells you that you will go into something that kind of looks like a pod, and you'll spend maybe a few hours in it. After that, you would come out of that particular pod completely rejuvenated. If you are a 65-year-old man going into that pod, you would basically come out of that pod as maybe like a 20-year-old man. Okay. If you had an amputated arm, that arm would now be rebuilt back into its own natural state. Okay. This is the med bed that I'm actually talking about. Is that coming anytime soon? No. Okay, because that is beyond even the current technologies that we have upon this planet. They are very much celestial in nature, right? You can find them on ships. If you go on board some common craft, they will actually have like pods or suspended animation chambers that basically flow up with liquid. Fill up with liquid. And you're basically in suspended animation for a certain amount of time. I'm not too sure how long the time is. But then you come out with your body completely rejuvenated. Perhaps it's youthened to a certain degree. If it was damaged in any particular way, it has been completely rejuvenated. You're actually coming out with new mental abilities. Your entire brain has been sharpened. Everything. Okay, that is beyond mankind's current capability of technology at this time. Okay, maybe if we're looking at the 22nd century or 23rd century, we're seeing something like that. Now, med beds in that way, there are other particular type of med beds that will do some amazing things, right? So then, like I said, nothing to the degree of SSP, but you would basically go into something like a bed because the governments have these things, right? You would go into the bed and you would just feel completely refreshed. It basically recharges your cells. Okay, that's what it's doing. There are other med beds that will basically be referred to as surgical beds, and surgical beds can be used to perform certain degrees of surgery. But basically, with the med beds they're using right now, they may be working with tachyon, they may be working with scalar, okay? And what they're doing is they're completely refreshing your cells. But guess what, everybody? That's what Radiate does for you. Radiate does that, especially with the upgrades that I'm going to be making Radiate with before the new year. And that is going to be in the new video that's going to be coming. I'm going to be exponentially upgrading Radiate to make it about 20 times more powerful than it is right now. The free version, the premium version, and the regen is going to be completely and totally upgraded. Okay, so it's going to be like Radiate Regen version 2. And that is going to include the planets, and that is going to include the star constellations, and that is going to include cosmic energy. And it is going to be amplified majorly. And so our large-scale radiate regen system is going to be about 50 times more powerful than it is right now. And our free version and our premium version is going to be 20 times more powerful than it is right now. Okay, so that is what I'm looking to bring forward with the new Radiate. Okay, so the interface is still going to be the exact same, but I've put all of these codes, I put, again, these source frequencies directly into the current interface, making it a lot more stronger than it is right now. There's also going to be new benefits pertaining to not just commercial establishments, because we're going to actually create a new marketing program for commercial establishments. We're actually going to work together as a community to market each other. So there's going to be some new benefits for a commercial establishment that's still utilizing the $2,000 for a license fee per location. And then we're going to have the private home usage for Radiate Regen. That's going to go down to $1,500 for a license, okay, for a single home. And then we're going to have a non-profit organization license, which will make the Radiate Regen license available for $1,000, okay, once I get your nonprofit organization information. So basically, it would be a 50% discount for nonprofits, but a 25% discount for private homes, and then $2,000 with extra benefits for commercial establishments, okay? All of that is going to be happening January 1st and moving on forward from that, okay? So that's what's happening with Radiate, okay? So Radiate right now, like I said, publicly speaking, would be the closest thing to that type of technology, okay? But you don't need a bed, okay? That's the downside of these whole med beds. You need these really big structures that take up so much room that would basically cost you about as much as buying a house, okay? These med beds would cost millions of dollars. They're very expensive, okay? The ones that I'm talking about that they're using like on military levels. And they would be very equivalent between the two systems, one that we know as Radiate, the other one that we would know as the EE systems, okay? EE systems combined together with Radiate, you would basically have something like maybe a medical bed in the military, okay? But Radiate is using even more technology, even more frequencies than what that military bed would work with. Radiate is actually using a lot more technology, a lot more frequencies than what EE systems can actually produce, okay? So this is not just boasting about it. This is actually provable, where I can show you these frequencies. And then if I'm training you into subtle tools, subtle skill sets like working together with the resonant dowsing, you'd be able to see this for yourself, right? I want you to scan for the planets. EE Systems has nothing in regards to planetary frequencies within its code. It has nothing in regards to star constellations in regards to its code. It has nothing in regards to interstellar cosmic energy in regards to its code. It has nothing in regards to the purification of color vibrational frequencies through a 15-grid system contained inside its code. Radiate does, right? So this is why I say, Cassandra, all you really need is Radiate, okay? So it's going to be updated in January. Right now, it's still very powerful, but I'm going to be making it more powerful. I'm going to really streamline it to a much more higher degree so that when you turn on the free version, you're just getting blasted, right? And you turn on the premium version, you're getting blasted on much more higher degrees. And then you go to Radiate Regen, you go to our industrial strength technology. You won't want to leave the room. That's how wonderful it feels. And people who have tried Radiate Regen will tell you the same thing. The room feels alive. And you don't get that with EE systems. You get that with Radiate, right? All right, guys. So that's what I can share about that. But it's a good question to end on. Thank you, Cassandra. And we're going to go ahead and conclude the broadcast today. So again, I will see you guys next week for another episode of the Wisdom Transmissions webcast. I'll have a couple more videos up this week as well, too. Blessings to you all. Thank you all for your questions. They were great. I had a great time, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Okay, remember, like I said, if you have a team together and you want to implement etherics, talk to me. Brad Johnson, 79@gmail.com, because I need to start putting that in the banners. All right, take care, everybody. Blessings to you all. Namaskar, and may it be well with you. See you next time.